amazing, man. I never get to see you guys up front, up close and personal. This is the first time I've ever really been like recognized. Like I walked into a room, it was like that scene in Return of the Jedi where the Ewoks are like, oh. I'm not calling you Ewoks. I'm just saying like everyone is like, what, Spoony, what? And like, we love you. And I'm like, you do? I think I'll actually start off by answering one question I know that I've been asked pretty much every time I've gotten in front of people. Was like, how did you get started? I was going to do a Mystery Science Theater fan vid, which is why I built the blue robot, Burton. Burton is not nearly as cool as you think he is. He's a very temperamental little guy. He's very fragile. I would bring him everywhere if I could. I'd have him right here if I could, but he does not travel well. He barely stands still well. But you know, I built this thing and I'm like, I'm going to do Mystery Science Theater. And then I asked my friends, I'm like, hey guys, I got this idea for a show. We're going to make fun of really shitty movies. Do you guys want to watch Blood Rain with me? And they're like, what? Yeah, we're going to watch Blood Rain like 5 times. And we're going to write on it, and then we're going to watch it again. And then we're going to make fun of it with my robot. So I'm going to be in front of the camera because one of you guys has to hunch on the ground and puppet my fucking robot. And they're like, why are we friends again? So the Mystery Science Theater didn't work out. So like all of a sudden I had this camera. It cost like $900. And I was like, what do I do? So like I was just bitching about games. But where it really started, like I finally started taking it seriously was Final Fantasy VIII. Back in that day, nobody dared make fun of Final Fantasy yet. I hated that game when I was a kid. I was like, Final Fantasy VII rocked my socks. And then 8 came out, and I was like, what is this shit? But yeah, Final Fantasy VIII was where I finally started, like, apparently I had like 20 followers on YouTube by that point. But apparently those 20 followers were like, he said what? That son of a bitch. You gotta hear what this asshole said about Final Fantasy VIII. So apparently they sent the link to like all their friends, and like their 20 friends sent it to their 20 friends, and so on and so forth. And all of a sudden I get like 400 messages in my YouTube account, like, you are gonna die. As soon as I got responses like that, I'm like, I'm doing another one.
How much of Final Fantasy X-2 do you play?
Very little. They seem to be under the misconception that Titus is the main character. He's not. It's not even Auron. It's Yuna, the chick who's gonna fight Godzilla. And Titus is always running around this fucking game like, this is my story. This is my story. Me, 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 me. And Yuna's like, who's sacrificing themselves to kill Godzilla again? And Titus is like, shut up, I got a blitzball. But Yuna, after defeating Godzilla in 10-2, becomes a pop star. She's like the leader of the biggest religion on the planet. And she's like, that's pretty fun. You know what I really want to do? Hit me, baby. So I didn't play much of that.
What are kind of the most disappointing games you've played and the least?
Yeah, actually, a lot of people ask me what's the worst game I've ever played. I can't really answer that game. It's really more games that made me mad or really, really disappointed me. Privateer 2 is probably one of the most disappointing sequels I ever played in my life. Deus Ex 2. What was that? Knights of the Old Republic 2.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The game that just sort of is like, we're out of game.
What are Dr. Insano's plans for the 2012 election?
I don't know. He's running on a platform of science and evil, you know. Actually, what was funny was I got so many messages after I did that whole thing where Dr. Insano gets elected president, and people were like, I would seriously vote for that guy. And I was like, I almost never write back to comments like that, just because if I did, I would love to talk to you guys all day, but you know, if I got like 3,000 comments a day, and I would spend all day doing that. So like, but I was like, why? And they're like, 'cause he's honest.
Here at the gaming con, no one gives you shit like they do at school. No, here at the gaming con, everyone's a nerd at school.